Okay. So in today's class means today is Sunday. Okay. So within this week, this is the Sunday class on 11/5/2025 under my Lakshmi Narayan Krishna Foundation. As I told you that Lakshmi Narayan Krishna Foundation, 3 days of a week classes will be conducted over different topics. Okay. Under my Lakshmi Narayan Krishna Foundation, 3 days of a week, Friday, Saturday, every Friday, Saturday, Sunday at 08:00 p.m. sharply in June. Okay. Every week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 days, thrice of a week, classes will be conducted at 08:00 p.m. on different topics. So, in the Saturday session means today is 11th May and 10th May. I have taken a class how to build a project which is a game, snake game. Okay, how to create a game which is a snake game by using a Pygame library. Okay, Pygame library. So I told you that in Python to create 2D games, mostly Pygame will be used. It is a library. See, whenever this is the game, okay, whenever you run the code, see how suppose this much of code we have written, this much of code, okay. Whenever you run it is not stored, okay, it is not stored as a file. Now, whenever you go into run main, okay, so that moment your game, like this is what snake, this is the feed. Red square is the feed, and this is the green is the snake. So with your moving down, up, down keys and left, right. Suppose feed is at down. So you need to move the snake near to the. So whenever it touches the end, so game will be over and click C to play again. C. So now this is the canvas area, otherwise the game area. So whenever you whenever you run your key buttons, up, down buttons, arrow keys, okay, up, down, left, right keys. If because this red square is the feed and this is the green square is the snake. If you move this towards, it moves, and otherwise you need to move it towards your feed. Whenever it touches the feed, that moment you will success. Okay, you will get the success. Okay, now that is as the snake reaches to the feed moves away. Okay, so as the snake reaches feed, so the feed whenever it touches the uh, end the game will be over, and if you want to quit the game, okay, click on Q. Okay, like your game will be quit. Otherwise, if you want to play C again, so by this arrow keys up and down, left and right, as you reach the game, that is what the feed moves away. So for this what we have written this code. So we need to understand the code. This is the total code, this much of, and I have taken a class in the last session means on the Saturday 10 May, 9th May, Friday class was not conducted, no issue. From the starting, under my Lakshmi Narayan Krishna Foundation, as I told you that classes will be conducted 3 days of a week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Fridays, thrice of a week, sharply at 8 p.m. in June. This is the PyCharm code editor, means PyCharm IDE, integrated development environment, to write the code, edit the code, compile the code, and run the code. Okay, now first of all, import Pygame. Okay, this Pygame is a library in Python to work with the games. I told you that for you, if you want to create Windows-based applications, Tkinter library mostly use it for if you want to create GUI-based Windows applications. In the previous classes, I have conducted project to create a calculator. Okay, Pygame. So if it is not installed, I told you that you need to go here. Okay, view, under the view tool, Windows, come to your terminal. Here, I told you that within what, under the terminal, pip, by pip install manager, you need to write a command, pip install Pygame. Pip install here. Like if your Pygame is not installed, so pip install, okay, Pygame. So whenever you enter, install Pygame. Whenever you enter, so Pygame library will be installed. Already it is installed. So because under here there is no any red line. If Pygame is not installed library, so you will get red line. So go into your pip install by the help of pip install manager. Okay, install the Pygame. So now I told you that Pygame is a library which will be used mostly for what purpose? I told you that to create the games. It is a library. So import time. What do you mean of time? Here, this time, it is a built-in time module and it provides time related functions. Okay, this module time imported, uh, which provide time related functions. Time related function. You can comment here, user to user to time related functions. User for time related functions. Time related functions are what? Functions means you can simply keep brackets. Otherwise, you write like this. Okay, like functions. Okay, what type of time related functions will be used? This time random, both are two modules, and Pygame is a library. So, what is the difference between module and library? A library may have so many modules, and every module may have classes and its methods. Okay, classes and methods. Okay, so which type of time related functions will be used here? One is time dot sleep. One is time dot sleep. That is what, sleep in seconds to pause execution for a few seconds. To pause execution for a, if you want to pass the execution for a few seconds, this time function, okay, time dot sleep. Sleep means what? That execution of that function, by that function, so that execution of the code for some seconds. How many seconds? Okay. Next word, time dot time. It returns current time in seconds. Time dot time means it returns current time. These are the functions of time module. One is sleep, time dot sleep. So time dot sleep means whenever you write time dot, these are what? Sleep. This is the sleep. Sleep seconds. Sleep seconds. How much of time that is to be passed? How much of times? How much of time it is to be passed? It means seconds. Okay. And that execution will be passed for few seconds. Or whatever the seconds, if you mention here, but sleep, this is seconds if you mention 100 seconds. So execution will be passed for 100 seconds. But here I don't need. I have imported the time library as a module, but I don't want to use the functions of this time module like sleep and time function that will return time, current time. Okay. This is the time. F means function. F means function. So this in this total this code, this time function of this time module, it will return the current time, okay, in seconds. Now next, one more function of this time like module is what? C dot. So time dot C time. Time dot C time. What do you mean of this? Returns a readable time like C time dot C time. So what it does, it will return the time. It will return a readable time like today is Saturday, sorry, Saturday night, today is Sunday, May. Okay. So now if I run this code, what happened? First of all, close this previous window. Okay. Otherwise, Q means quit the game. You go again, come here, run the code again. So that moment, let us see what happened. So whether so these three functions of the time module, sleep time, current time. So whenever I run this code, so I don't want to use, if I keep these sleep function and time function. So now let us run this code where what happened? Stop and run. So now whether we are getting any time here, current time, so there is no any current time. So don't worry. Okay. So just I want to brief that once time module imported, it has functions, sleep time and current time. So random, what is the mean of, what is the use of this? Here actually time function imported. If you here, no any function is being used here. If you want to keep it comment, there is no any problem because now this time module, it is not being used in this code. Just I have imported. Okay. So in this current snake game code, time is imported but not being used. So, but if you want to remove that, you can remove. There is no any. Okay. In further, if I want to use sleep or display time, okay. Okay. No any problem. Next, random. What do you mean of random module here? Random module I have imported used to generate random numbers. Okay. Random numbers by this random module in Python, random numbers will be generated. Let us see where the random code written here. See random dot. Random is a module. So here random is a module dot randrace. So it is what? So whenever you keep dot operator, random is a module. For this module, so many variables, randrace is a variable. Okay. So if you want to, you can call this, we can use. So that random module will be used to generate random numbers between, okay, between A and B. So here, this random dot rand range, okay, it returns a random number between A and B. Okay. Next. So generally each and every line I need to explain because once the code that is being executed and the code is being what the snake game and snake. So whenever the snake uh, touches the edge, the game will be over. If you want to run the game again C plus now keys by the keys. So the food moves as the snake reaches. Okay, it reaches. So let us try to understand the code one by one. Every as I told you, the three modules. Every module, sorry, one library, Pygame, time, random, two modules, time module. It is not being used and its functions also not being used. Sleep function time and see the current time. Okay. And random, I told you that random is a module which will be used to generate random numbers. Okay. In that where um so here what happened? So here random module is so essential in our game to place food at random positions. Okay. That random module is compulsory in this game to place food at random positions. As we have seen, whenever your snake reaches to the food and food will be placed at random position in somewhat position. Okay. So make the game dynamic. Okay. As the snake reaches to the food, so food will be kept randomly at somewhere else. So that's why random module it is very important here. And so I told you that Pygame is a library. Okay, it's a library mostly used for gaming purpose. Imported time and random both are modules. So what do you mean? What is the difference between module and library in Python? Please try to understand here in the class. Lib First, let me explain module. Module is a single file which will be stored with extension .py. Okay, so we can differentiate both the module and library. Pygame is a library, time, random, both are modules. So module is what? A single Python file with the .py extension, which consists of functions and variables or classes. Okay. Module, it is a single file stored with the .py extension. Okay. And which consisting of functions, variables, or classes. Okay. So once class is there, it has methods. Okay. So methods can be accessed as class methods, otherwise object methods by creating the object. So this random is a module imported with the import keyword. Okay. So we can, whenever we need any module, we can import and uh, we can reuse a module, okay, in our code. So whenever I have imported, I can use this random module and its classes, functions, okay, and variables. Next is what? Suppose example, some more modules I want to explain. You are like math module, random module, time module. So math has so many functions, square root functions. Okay. So every module has so many functions and classes and variables. And what about the library? So library, we can say that library is a collection of modules. Okay. Random means module is a single file which is stored with the .py extension. That module consisting of classes, functions, variables. Okay. So library, it is a collection of modules. Okay. So many modules bundled together to serve as a common purpose. So library may have so many modules. All modules are bundled together so that you can use them. Okay. So example, Pygame is a library. It contains consisting of many modules like what Pygame is a library. It is having modules like what Pygame, draw, Pygame.draw. Pygame.draw means under Pygame library, draw is a module where we have used this is Pygame.display. Pygame.display. Here, this code, what do you mean of this code? Pygame is a library within this display module used here. Okay, understood that. So Pygame has so many modules like Pygame.draw, okay, dot display. I will show someone Pygame dot font. Pygame is a library and dot time is a module. Time is a module. Font is a module. Okay. And Pygame dot draw. Here Pygame is a library. Within that, Pygame is a library. It has so many modules like draw is a module. Here we are using draw module. Draw is a module means a single file which is stored with the .py extension. And that module has so many classes. So, okay, like functions. Okay. And Pygame, as I told, it is a library and which is having so many modules like pygame.draw, pygame.display, pygame.time, etc. Okay, now pandas and matplotlib, these are somewhat libraries. So many libraries are there. Pandas is a library to analyze the data. Matplotlib is okay. Tkinter library is there, and to work with websites, Django, Flask, okay, NumPy, SciPy, so many libraries are there. Okay, so you can simply you can understand what is the difference between module and the library. That is very important. As I told you that module is a single .py file. Okay, and library is collection of so many modules. So now come to the main code. So one library imported, two modules, time random, but time has some what function, sleep time, current time, but I am not using. If you want to remove this code up to this code, there's no any problem here. But in further, we will use this code. Okay, this module. Next, pygame.init. Pygame.init here. What is the role of to initialize the library? What is the this line of code pygame.init? I told you that in the previous class. By this code, this pygame, all pygame modules, pygame, whatever the modules it has, all the pygame modules like window is a module, sound is a module. Okay, these all modules of Pygame library will be initialized, means started by this. Okay, to initialize them, you can comment here to start. Initialize means start. To start modules of Pygame library. This code. Okay. Next, this is also current time function of time module. I don't want to use here. I have briefed. Okay. Next what? Width, screen, width, height. These are what? Width, height, some pixels. Okay. Of screen. Okay. Pixel. How the let us see now here. Just I want to show within this. See, this is the screen size, 1000 by 1000, 1000 by 1000. So if you want to decrease the screen size, you need to set up the code. You need to come into the code here, where here. So here 1000, if you want to set it out 600, the screen size 600 by 600. That is what pixel, screen pixel size. So width, height, 600 by 600. Now you run this code, go there, run, okay, stop previous code. Now your size, screen size, it is decreased. Okay? Screen size decreased. So width, height are two variables to created to set the Windows means game window size 600 by 600. Next is what screen. See, pygame.display. I told you that pygame.display. Pygame is a library. That library has so many modules, display module. See, that is module. How do you know that it is a module dot operator here? Okay. See, this is okay. Pygame display, and the display has somewhat function. That module, this I told you that module has so many functions, classes, and classes has methods and variables. So how do I know that this display module has set underscore mode? This is a function. So simply you keep dot, okay, simply you type set. So this is F. F means function, set underscore mode function. But set underscore mode function used here. This is the part of display module. Understood that this display module is part of this Pygame library. That is very important. You need to understand like this. Now these width and height variables are passed for this function set underscore mode function as parameters. Parameters are nothing but variables, width, height. Okay, these width, height parameters means they are the variables. A variable size we have assigned here, the pixels, okay, 600, okay. Now this total, this much of code from here to here, so from here to here, this code stored in this variable screen. One variable created this total Pygame library and its module, and that module has this function set underscore mode, and for that function these two width height variables are passed as parameter. The total goes stored in the screen variable. Okay, whenever I want to call this total code, I don't want to call this total code, just I will call this variable or screen variable. Okay, now one more time, I want to keep a name for this game, snake game. Okay, snake game. Okay, that symbol, snake symbol, you can copy the image from where somewhere and you can keep inside of this double quotation, single quotation mark so that it will be considered everything as a string. Okay, there is the title of the game, snake game. And how Pygame is a library, dot display is a module, like I told you that how. See here, whenever Pygame dot, I want to call that module display. Display Pygame dot display. What do you mean of this? Pygame is a library, display is a module. That module, I told you that that module has so many what? So many module has classes, functions, and variables. So this display module has a function dot set underscore caption to set up the title. So here how to this display module has this function set underscore caption. So F means function. You click on this and within the brackets means method and function, they have the parenthesis brackets. Within this, you can pass parameters like width, height, otherwise somewhat text as a string you can pass. Okay, like what. So this is what to set up the see. This is pixel size, screen size setup. This is one game title of that game. So we come here where we need to go here. So you go there and run the code. Okay. So see, snake game, snake game. This is the title of the game, snake game. If you want to keep all of them snake capital letters, and if you want to increase the screen size 1000 by 1000 pixels, and okay, now what happened? White, black, green, red. So see what happened here. This pixel will be screen size will be increased, and your snake game all will be capital letters. Okay. Now see here what happened. The font, Pygame.font, whatever the font you are seeing on the font is visible on the screen. So its size what 35. That is the default size. Okay. Now come to the colors. Colors are what? Which colors? Green color. How many colors we are how many colors? This is the two colors. One is this is the red color feed. This is the red color feed. This is the snake. Okay, green color. So green color is what? To set up the colors. Colors are defined using RGB tuples. RGB, it is a tuple sets lists dictionaries we have studied in the previous classes. So it is RGB tuple. So these colors white, black, green, red. Okay. Here, see what happened. White. If I have black, what happened here? If I have commented here black. So here actually game is background is black. So let us see what happened if I have commented black. What happened? Let us see. Hmm. So this black is not defined. So because now in the code screen dot fill black. Screen dot fill black. I have written the code within the screen dot fill black means the total screen will be filled with black color. Okay. So where is that code? Within this, I have written screen dot fill black. Okay. So whenever you put comment in front of that code, so the total code is not being executed because the screen, there is no any black. Okay. Screen dot black here. Understood that. Screen dot fill black means your total screen will be filled with black. So now if I want to change this as orange color, okay, but there is no any orange, maybe O capital letter. Let us see. Okay, it is okay, but not. It is not accepting. And how many colors are here? Fill function. Okay, black. Screen dot fill black. There is no any problem. Now you run this code again. You go here, run main. Okay. What is the problem we are facing here? because of no. So you run this code here, screen fill black, but block color, no? So you have commented here. So that comment you need to remove that comment black. Okay, remove this black. So now if I want to change this color as okay, orange, first I need to write this orange here and fill. I need to I need to keep that variable. No, this is variable created here. White, orange, green. Okay, orange. That white orange is a color, but it is a variable. I need to fill that variable. I need to keep that variable inside of this fill function. Okay, that is part of your screen. Okay, module. Okay, now orange here. So now orange is a variable. V means variable. Okay, now whenever you run this code, your background will be totally now it is not changed. It is totally looking black. Okay, no problem. Orange. Orange. If I want to give somewhat 255 pixels, 255 pixels, 255. So that moment, if I run this code, what happens? See here. Okay. So this is happening here. So totally, I have the parameters of orange. I have changed 255, 255, 255. So these 255 to these are what? These are generally, as I told you that these are what colors. Colors for green for what purpose? For snake, to mention the snake color, and food for red, and for background color black. So what happened here? So try to understand here. So as I told you that these are what RGB tuples. RGB stands for red, green, blue tuples. So this red, green, blue tuples are what you know. So these values 255, 255, 255, yeah, 0 to 50, these are values, color values for RGB tuple. Okay. So in this game, I have used RGB tuples with these are values 255, 255 values. So RGB tuples are how they will work. Let us try to understand. RGB stands for red, green, blue tuple. So each value in the tuple, suppose white is a tuple, it has 255, 255 values. Each value in the tuple, black tuple, green tuple, can range from 0 to 255. 0 is the minimum value, 250 is the maximum value. White is a tuple, black is a tuple. Tuple means what you know, it is just like a list. Okay. Already we have studied tuple sets, that is what list dictionaries. Okay. This is called RGB tuple. RGB means red, green, blue tuple. Every tuple has the minimum value 0 and maximum value 255. So in this color snake game, colors are used white, black, green. Green color for what you know for the representation of the snake. This is the color red for food. And if why it is the background looking what you know, why? Because I have mentioned the values here 255, 255, 255. So what do you mean of this? See, whenever white is equal to 55, 255, 250 means max of red, green, blue, because RGB palette means red, green, blue palette. So max, red is max and green is max and blue is max because your palette is what RGB palette. Okay. So now whenever red and green, blue are max. So full brightness. That moment, what happened? So totally white, totally white. So black, whenever we have mentioned, so you will get what? This is what black tuple. Its max value set up as 50 by 50. So what happened here? You will the brightness means total brightness will be white. Total brightness will be white. Understood that? So whenever this total 255, 255, 255 means full brightness. So you will get white. So if I want to get black, I need to keep the values as 0, 0, and 0. So minimum values I need to set up. So that moment what happened here, you will get black. By full, that is what your whenever your values are of color, the values of red RGB tuple, red, green, blue tuples, values are set to maximum values of 255, 250. That moment you will get what? White here, white. So whenever you set the RGB tuple values as red 0, green 0, blue 0, so you will get black. So now you run this code, rerun, stop the previous, and you will see the, so that moment what I need to here black. So in the screen fill, I need to change that as orange. I have changed it there. I need to here orange. You need to change it as black. Okay, black. Okay, understood that. What do you mean of this? That black is a variable. Okay, and that variable, that color palette of RGB palette values are set up to 0, 0, 0 means minimum values set up for that RGB palette and stored in a variable black, and that black to be filled in this function, fill function, that is part of your screen dot. Okay, screen is what? Screen is a variable we have created here. Where is that screen? This is display. So the display of this size, window size pixel 1000, okay, and that is stored in the screen variable, and screen background setup is 0, 0 minimum value, so that RGB palette you will get black. Okay, so these are values, you can simply understand. Okay, this black for bears screen of your game screen. Green is the snake to represent snake color. Red is to represent food color. Okay. Okay. White, there is, you want to keep it. Okay. If you keep comment, what happened here? Let us try to see here what happened. Run this code. You are looking like this. So that white, there is no meaning. If you don't want to use that, you can comment here. That's not a problem. It's generally black, green, red. Okay, three. Black. If I keep 0 values, the background will be changed as black. If I, whenever I keep maximum values for this black tuple, so 55 to max values, the background will be like white. Okay. Now, what do you mean of black size? Let us see, as I told you that. So whenever green, what do you mean of 0 minimum value to 55 means RGB, red is 0, green max value, B means blue minimum value. That moment full green, okay, full green, no red or blue. This is not pure green. Full green. Full green means what? Okay, that moment. So whenever you mentioned this type of, you will get the full green. So whenever you mention full red, what purpose? Food. So red means what, 255, 0, 0 means full red color, no green or blue, full red. Okay. So if you want to create a red, so red is full color or G. G means green zero, blue zero. So you will get only red color. If you want to green, green means snake color. Snake is green. So R means this is R, red color, this is green, B, blue. So that moment, if you want to change this, okay, orange colors. So if you keep this as, there is no any orange. Understood that? Because your palette is RGB palette. Only three colors are there: red, green, blue. And if you want to, if you that snake color, if you want to keep it as blue, or moment that moment 0, 0. Okay, this is 255. Means now the snake color will be blue. Snake color R means 0, green 0, blue 255. Now your snake color will be converted into what? Blue color. But name error, green is not defined. Did you mean screen? So because in our code screen green, at this code I need to change blue. Okay, where is that? Here in this code I need to change screen fill. What? Screen fill black. Okay, screen fill black. Here screen fill black, and then as per this, what is our colors? What are our colors? Here red for the snake, blue. Blue means R, 0 means there is no any red, green no, blue. So in that code, at this green, I need to change as blue. Where is that? Go there. I will explain one by one. Pygame draw dot rect. Okay. Pygame dot rect screen. Which line? This code is what? In line 32. Line 32, starting. Uh, here, it is mentioned. Here, you need to mention here blue color. So now you run this code. Okay. Now what happens? See here. Your snake color changed to blue color and feed is red. Okay, RGB palette has three colors only. Now you run the game, the snake will be moved and you move towards the food whenever the snake reaches to the, whenever it reaches to the food will be shifted and it will be kept randomly. The food will be kept randomly at somewhere else. Okay. As you reach to the game, as you reach to the food, so your food will be shifted. Your food will be shifted. Game over. Huh? So today I want to close the class. We will read. I will conduct the next class up to from here. Every line of code I want to explain. Every line, what is the meaning of it, the height, pixels of the screen, and to display, to get display, screen display. Okay, these parameter variables are passed as parameters, and that is stored in screen variable to keep a game of name of that your game snake game. We need to use Pygame library display module. The display module has a function, set underscore caption is a function of snake game. It is a string kept in double quotation string. It can be kept in double quotation on single quotation marks. It doesn't matter. Okay, if you start with double quotation, you need to close with the double quotation for now. And I have explained RGB palette. It has red, green, blue, okay, colors. And in next class, I will explain every line of code. Okay, every line of code, every line of each and every line of code, how the game design created this much of code written for every line of code. We need to understand how the snake game designed by importing a Pygame library. Okay, two-dimensional game. For three-dimensional games, we need to use yeah, Pygame mostly used for 2D games, not for 3D games. Okay, Pygame is good for 2D platforms like Mario, Snake games, car racing, puzzle games, card games. So this Pygame is library mostly used for 2D games. So mostly it is used to create games like 2D platformers like Mario game, snake games, car racing, puzzle games, card games. So Pygame is not ideal for 3D games like camera angles, lighting, 3D models, etc. Really, if I want to make a 3D game in Python, I need to use the libraries like Unity library and Unreal Engine and Panda 3D. Panda 3D is Python based. Okay, Panda 3D, I can use this library to create the 3D games. Unity, it is a library. It is part of your C# language. Unreal Engine, it is this library is part of your C++. And Go.Engine, Python like language, GD script. Okay, so for now, our simple games like whatever we are seeing here, this simple game, okay, with the graphics, movement, and logic, the Pygame is perfect. Really, if I want to move to 3D in the future, so we need to import the type of modules as I have briefly Panda 3D mostly for Python based. Okay, so I will explain next code, next line of code. Okay. Up to here, I have explained color palette. I have explained from here this code to every line of code. We need to understand in the next classes from here to last. Okay. Every line of code we will understand. Then after we write the code, how to set up the music and how to set the score. Okay. And means this game, snake game will be somewhat modified by adding up some code to add the music and to add the game score. Okay. Jai Hind. Thank you.